Because I feel like intimidated by you.
Come on, don't be that weak. Don't be a snowflake. What's up?
Not much. Yeah, I mean we could talk. What's up, man?
This guy. I can talk. Let's talk.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about? You're from Yitz Israel.
It is Israel. You're correct. Do
So
you have any opinion about Israel? Israel, the U.S., Israel, Palestine, Iran.
yeah, I would just say that I think that like I am Jewish, just so you know, but like as a as a Jewish American, like I think we've kind of learned that like do you know about American politics and stuff like that?
A bit.
Okay, so you know like how like in America, black people have like poor educational outcomes, economic outcomes, and criminal outcomes.
Sure. I
And
think subsidizing single motherhood actually supported that's a problem, but sure.
I think that like the perspective though is that this was a product of racism rather than black people inherently being more violent or dumber.
No, there was obviously stuff that happened in the 70s and 80s of being racist towards specific minority group regarding pushing drugs and stuff like that. Not going into specific, but yeah, I'm aware of that. But today, day and age, I think they have enough opportunity to succeed.
Well, I don't think that a lot of like if that was the case, then we wouldn't have the Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. It seems like these are like
I think it's a stupid movement.
well, I don't know if it's stupid. I also know a lot of Jewish people are like very heavily involved in Black Lives Matter, like
Doesn't
very
matter.
heavily.
It doesn't mean that it's
Well,
okay or
well,
not. What's
well,
your
what I
point?
think there is in America is there are a lot of progressive Jews who don't then like focus, their progressive positions on, our own community, like Israel, right?
Hmm.
And I think that I'm laughing because it's just so obvious to me, right? Like I don't know why this isn't like understood. It makes sense that people who are oppressed will commit violence and acts of terrorism because that's the voice. And I think that Israel, which is a deeply racist country, which legally on the books, if you're a non-Jew, you can't marry a Jew, right?
No, actually, it's not. That's not a specific law. Um, Even if I'm Jewish and my wife is Jewish, if I want to marry her, I need to do it via the Rabbanut, and which both of us did not want to do this.
So
So wait, let me finish. So we both flew to Prague, for example, me specifically, and I got married there. I did not get married in Israel because we did not want to go via this specific organization, you could call it, which
one
I'm
second.
against that. But of course you can marry a non-Jew. What's your point?
Not legally inside Israel. I know that
I
Israel
already told you,
recognizes.
even two
No,
Jews.
I already know this. I already
Okay,
know
so
this.
even
Okay,
two
so
Jews cannot marry each other if they're not going via the Rabbanut. What's your point?
you don't think that that's a problem?
But it's also two Jews. It's not specifically against someone who's not Jewish. Do you understand what I just said?
I
Are
do,
you are
but
you hearing me?
what I'm explaining is that that system it upholds a set of moral and social beliefs that
But how
are
is it racial? Like how is it racist towards someone else? They're also racist towards the Jews. Did you hear what I just said?
I didn't really understand it, so you're gonna have to repeat it. They're also racist to the Jews?
I'm Jewish. My wife is
Okay,
Jewish. Me and
okay.
her did not want to go via the Rabbanut, which
All
is the
right, but
official government who
yeah,
are
yes,
marrying people in
I know about
Israel.
the chief. I
And
know about the chief rabbinate.
because
Yes,
we
I
did
know.
not want to go via them, if we want to get married, we need to do it outside of Israel and then come back with the documents.
I
So
like you being
how is it against non-Jews if I already explained to you right now that we're both Jewish and they did
raising your
not let
voice
us
doesn't make
get
your point
married?
more valid. It makes you kind of like
Yeah,
squirm.
I'm against the Rabbanut, but they're
Okay,
not racist against other ethnic group.
but that's not the point I'm making. I'm trying to show that it's a system
Mhm.
which upholds Jewish supremacy
How is it a Jewish supremacy when we're both Jewish and we would not be able to marry?
because it upholds the Orthodox Jewish understanding of
Mhm.
social standards and marriage.
Okay. So I still don't follow this. Sorry, I'm not
I
understanding
think
your
this is
point.
pretty obvious, right?
No, because you're like saying there is discrimination against some specific group, or is it
I
just?
would say that there is an institutional
Mhm.
a institutional preference to not preference, but a viewing of authority and superiority to the traditional um, conceptions of the Jewish people, which
Sure.
is
Can Muslims
very violent,
can
which is
two
very
Muslims
violent, very
can
racist.
two Muslims marry each other in Israel?
Of course they can,
Two Christians?
but don't you understand?
Two
Like we're
Christians?
too. Can you just like can we like focus on real stuff as opposed to like could two black people marry in like the segregationist South?
Can
Yes or no?
what?
Could two black people marry in the South in like when miscegenation laws were in place?
Can I guess not. I don't know what's happening regarding that specifically in the US. I know you had problematic laws. You also were not allowed to have gay marriages until the 2000 and something. What's your point?
Well,
Again, it's not racist.
it is
It's not.
because just because two
Against
people
which
of the
race is
same,
it?
I would say that it's against people. It's a way to keep Jews more insulated with themselves
Okay,
and
yes,
to
the main reason is to keep the Jews as a one
people.
monogenetic. Yeah, sure. Why not? What's the problem with
Right.
being a
Well, well,
tribe?
because like this is the you don't do you believe like I believe as a progressive
Hmm.
person that like when groups of people come together and you have like cultural enrichment,
Hmm.
you break down a lot of the group biases that cause friction and violence. So that's what happened, like for instance in America. And Jewish people were very instrumental, our people were very instrumental in promoting civil rights. And
Hmm.
so America, for instance, you know, we had laws that prevented people who are not European and non-white from coming into this country.
Hmm.
And then Jewish people, like the Hart-Celler Act, it's very famous. They allowed non-white people to come into this country and become citizens.
Hmm.
So that before
What
America
does
viewed
that have to do
itself,
with Jews, with the Jewish
because I think that
Orthodox? It
like,
doesn't have anything to do with it. We do not
well, you're
we do not tell the
saying that
Muslims
you
and
think
Christians
it's
it's
good to be
illegal
a
for them to get
tribe.
married. What's your
You're
point?
saying it's good to be a tribe, but my point is that tribal stuff is inherently violent and
I don't believe that.
well, it's like you know our books, right? You've read the Torah,
Sure.
okay, and you know that like there is a consistent pattern of conquest and violence and murder
Hmm.
against groups of people that were not us.
Do we still do it today? Do we still follow the Tanakh and to fight?
Yes, I mean
Yes,
we
where?
can see in Israel there are absolutely politicians and people who promote violence like that for murdering people who are considered lesser than because they're not Jewish. That is
Where exactly?
textbook.
Give me an example. Give me like a verse from the government.
Verse from the government. I
Yeah.
mean, right now they're calling people who are in Palestine and Gaza Amalek.
No, he said, "Remember what the Amalek did to you." He did not say they are
But
Amalek.
what does that lead to that then? What
Oh,
does
you
that mean?
oh, so now we're doing like an assumption, right? You don't know what he's saying,
Absolutely
so
no, no,
you're doing
but absolutely. Like in the
interesting.
Holocaust, they didn't say like murder Jews. They said deportation.
No,
Like
no,
this is
they
the whole.
actually it's
This,
the final solution. The 1942 was like letter conference was actually to kill
yeah,
all the
but
Jews, to genocide
when
all the Jews.
yeah, but when
Oh
they
my
looked at the
God, that's
documents,
what you're
when they
just
looked
saying
at the
right now. That's what
documents,
you're just saying right now that the final solution was to deport the Jews and not to kill them.
no, I think it was to kill them.
I
No,
know it was to kill them. So why are you saying it's deportation, the Holocaust?
no, because they used the word deportation, but they meant liquidation. They meant
No,
death.
they did not use the word deportation. Show me they use deportation in that conference. Show
What
me right now.
1942? No, in the German documents they
No,
said
no, no, no.
deportation.
Show me in the final solution that they said it's deportation and not killing.
I think you're like retarded. Do you know like do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like
I'm
if you're
asking you to
committing
show me. I'm asking you to show me. Like you're going for ad hominem because you're just.
no,
I'm
I'm
putting
not
you
going
to a.
I'm going
Yes,
for
you are. You are.
facts.
Did you just curse me right now with me not saying anything to you? We're asking for facts. That's how you lose the debate, by the way. When I'm asking you for something specific you just mentioned, and you cannot bring me the document or something that you cannot back it up.
What I think that what you're trying to do is you're trying to I know in 1942 they said like you're trying I don't agree with the argument here. The big part of the Nuremberg trials was to point out that the word deportation meant killing. In Nazi Germany, they were not saying
Mm-hmm.
that in legal documents, they were not saying death. They were not saying execution. They were saying deportation. That was the official, words and meaning for people being sent to the extermination camps. So you saying just because you're saying remember what Amalek did to you,
Mm-hmm.
that it's an assumption. in the same way that it's an assumption when we look at the historical records that deportation meant extermination.
Mhm.
It's very
So
simple.
show
It's
me,
it
so
makes
show me,
sense.
so show me how Israel
Okay.
in the war with Gaza,
Hmm.
how do we are trying? You believe it's a genocide?
Absolutely. This is agreed
Why are you
upon
laughing right now?
universally. That's why it's so funny.
Why are you laughing right now
Because
about this
because
topic?
why am I
You're
laughing?
laughing
Because
about people dying, yes.
I think it's absurd. I think it's evil, and
Okay,
sometimes
so
people
explain to
laugh.
me,
No, I would know you want to know why I'm laughing. Listen, I laugh in extremely stressful situations. Okay, I was sexually assaulted by somebody. Okay, and I laugh when like people talk about this individual, not because I think it's like funny. I think it's
Mhm.
terrible, but because that is a natural
Okay, let's
stress
start.
reaction.
What's the definition of a
Severe
genocide?
definition genocide:
Yeah.
the systematic destruction of a people, their culture, their history, their bodies, for instance.
What do you have
This
to
is
show in a genocide? There is a specific thing you must show. You cannot show it a destruction of specific group. Dola
you realize that
speciali.
like you can look on
Dolas
Wikipedia and
dolas
most people
dolas
accept that what
dolas special. You have to show special intent, right?
special intent.
Yes. Prove to me that
There
Israel showed special intent to kill the Palestinians in the war.
there is you mean the government?
Show me that our actions are showing that we're trying to kill all the Palestinians. We're trying to
There is
genocide them.
you're asking me for like a government document.
I'm asking for any proof of a genocide.
I think that the flattening of cities, like
Mhm.
the universal consistent flattening of cities, targeting of medical institutions,
Wait.
like
One
sure,
point after the other. Flattening
okay,
cities, it's not a genocide. So, I'm gonna move from that. What's the
okay,
next one?
shooting kids in the head
Show
intentionally,
me any video.
snipers.
Show me any video
This has been reported on
by
by
the doctors
many.
who have not even went out of the hospitals. They said yes, they shot kids in the head, but they did not have actually evidence or factual information about this. Sure, this was
I
also
mean,
debunked several times.
do you think that do you remember when Joe Biden in this country said that babies were killed in Israel?
They were killed. I'm sure you're
Okay,
gonna go for the beheaded babies, right? That's what you're gonna go
right.
for.
So like you're giving it like we're
It's a
talking about stuff that is
mistranslation.
considered.
No, but it's a mistranslation because the 40 beheaded baby came from a French journalist, and they mistranslated the article. Instead of, it should not have been 40 beheaded baby. It says 40 dead babies, some beheaded, and they just mungle up the article together and say, "Oh, look, they're lying about the babies being beheaded." And I don't control what Biden is saying, by the way.
No, I know you don't control it. That's not. I no, that could be true. What you just said could be true. I'm
It
totally willing
is, but
to.
okay. I can show you the article actually if you want me.
I was telling you my what I that I'm not gonna be bad faith with that. I was
Okay.
yeah.
So can you show me proof of intentional for genocide? Because
Do
please
you think
remember,
that like the universal consensus of genocide scholars is valid or not? Do you
those
think that's
scholars
valid?
that you can pay $100 and join them.
No, there are a lot. There a lot of them are Jewish. That's not
I
a.
don't
This
give
is
a
not
shit
a.
if they're. So what if there are a lot of them not Jewish? What's your point? That,
So
what does that
why?
have to do with anything? So
It
self-hating
absolutely.
Jews like you think that's like I give a shit about that?
What do you think
So
is self-hating? What do you think is
so
self-hating?
what you're doing right now? So regarding those
No, no, no,
scholars,
no, 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 no.
those
What am I doing?
scholars,
No, I love myself. I have the
those
dignity.
scholars.
I have the dignity to acknowledge grievous
Mhm.
injustices. That makes me hate myself. The fact I'm a fucking human being. That's disgusting, bro. That's disgusting. How dare
Why
you
are you
say
so
that?
performative right now?
Because you're trying to. I'm not being performative is the wrong word. I'm passionate. I think that's a better word.
So why did the
I
ICJ,
believe
the
in.
actually formal body who can decide on a genocide, did not decide it's a genocide, or nothing yet about that?
I can't speak to that
Why not?
because I don't.
They're the official body, right?
They are an official body,
They
but
are
that doesn't.
the official body, not an official body. Just making sure. Yes, go ahead.
The official body.
Yeah,
All right. What is it called again? Let me look it up right
the
now. See
ICJ.
the ICJ,
You don't know about the ICJ?
Israel.
Oh well.
Okay. it seems like they've issued provisional measures ordering Israel to prevent genocidal acts.
Sure, that's not
Okay.
blaming Israel for doing a genocide. They what they provisioned was to make sure that a genocide is not happening. It's just a general thing. Also, what they were discussing is the right of South Africa to bring that to the courts of case of the Palestinian have a right to check if there is a genocide or not. They're not having ruling anything about this currently right now. So why did the official body, I'll go again, did not say anything about this? Like did not conclude
So
anything about
is
this?
an action a non-action an action? Because
Mm,
what you're telling me is that they ruled against Israel committing a genocide.
no, they didn't rule yet. There is
Okay,
no
so they
ruling
didn't.
yet.
Okay, all right.
So
So then
according to you, it's
that's what I
guilty.
mean.
So
That's
according to you,
dishonest, bro. That's
it's
dishonest.
guilty until proven innocent.
I would say I think it's a little different right now. Okay.
How come?
Um, okay. So if you have like security camera footage of somebody committing a crime, they've
Mhm,
like stole like you have perfect proof that they've done it. You know,
mhm.
they admitted on camera that they did it. And now they're like in court and they're like, they pled not guilty and they're arguing themselves.
Sure.
What do you think went on there, bro?
I again, you're gonna say a specific crime with genocide, which is you think it's like you can equivalently say it's the same thing. You think there's enough evidence for a genocide?
Absolutely.
Again, I didn't even give me one. And you're using the International Association for Scholars. I just wanted to make sure about this. Um, just a funny point regarding them. Just a funny point. Just a really, really funny point. Small funny point. So the international scholars, yeah, regarding them. The International Association of Genocide Scholars, that one did you like to quote, yeah? Face criticism over their membership vetting after activists discovered its low $30 fee and open sign-up process allows fake profiles, including the name of Adolf Hitler, was one of the people. Thank you. You as a Jew, you're supporting them. By the way, it's
No, I'm not
amazing by
supporting
me
them.
to
Not
be
supporting them
registered
at
and
all.
cast as voters. So you think people
I'm
like
not
that?
supporting
So
them.
you think
No.
people like
I
that? Wait. You think people like that in that association? You can pay $30 and you can
I
be
think you're looking at
associated.
fringe. I think you're looking at fringe stuff in order to
You you
discredit
you
real.
you talked about them.
Yeah.
You brought them up.
I don't think that's the only like
Oh,
example.
okay. So can you
Yeah.
give me proof of a genocide, please? Well, you didn't bring me even one.
This is
You
I'm like
said
talking to a
hospital.
Holocaust denier. I'm talking to a like I'm
No,
literally
that's
that's
maybe
literally the same
you.
thing. No, not at all. I
Mm.
think the Holocaust happened. I know it did for sure.
How many people died?
6 million.
All right,
Why
good.
would I argue that, bro?
I
Like
don't
you're
know. I
acting.
heard some
You're
Jews
like
saying
talking.
something else.
No, the thing is, I'm not. Yeah, but I'm not like you're trying to. You are comparing me to Adolf Hitler when you're the one who's like,
Okay, so
is in a state
please,
that is like systematically like
yeah. So please
eliminating other
give me
groups of
genocide.
people.
How many people
Sure.
died in Gaza?
Uh, right now it's like 500,000.
500,000.
Yeah. But also, I think that that's just the report. I think it's like vastly underreported because we're not just including the people who, have died directly from Israeli gunfire, but also, and bombardment, but also a lot of the bodies are like buried under
Actually, there is an
rubble.
official
And then
numbers
in
of how
addition,
many. Yeah, so there is actually an official number of how many died since October 2023. Um, will you take the UN numbers as a correct one?
sure, you can give me that.
Okay, I'm just wondering because you said 500,000. Um, let me open it. Here. So this is from OCAJ. This is the official numbers. This is from 12th of August. That's a few days ago. This is a snapshot. Okay, they're getting it every day from the the Health Ministry of Gaza. So that's the amount of dead fatalities. 73,000. That's the amount of injured. Hold on. Are you watching and not subscribed? Please considering joining the community. And if you really enjoy the content, support me on Coffee. Every small donation help keep these debates independent. All right, back to the chaos. You said 500,000, yes? I just want to make sure. You said 500,000.
I
You're
saw
off
that
almost by 10 times.
when I looked like last time I checked, how
What did you
many
check?
people?
Again, the same scholars?
No, no, no.
Ah, sure. So, can we agree you're wrong about this number?
Yeah, I was absolutely wrong about this
Like
number.
say, okay. So what's the do you know what's the percentage population of that 73,000 from the total? You guys know how many people living in Gaza?
How many?
It's 2.2 million.
Okay.
That's, and by the way, that casualty reports, the amount of dead, that's including all militants. That's not only civilians. That's a total death. Are you aware of that?
Do you think that most people in Palestine are militants?
No.
Okay.
What's
All
your
right.
point?
Just making sure. No, I know that there are some Israeli people who have argued that they are all combatants.
Sure, maybe some Israelis. I don't agree with them, but what's your point?
Okay.
Okay. So according from that number, 73, 74,000, according to us, because Hamas does not differentiate between militants and civilian, we've said around 30,000 of them are Hamas. Is it fair to take Hamas's numbers and the IDF numbers if we're trusting both sources?
I'll go with them for the sake of this
Yeah, if you
discussion.
trust Hamas's numbers, you will trust the IDF numbers, right?
Yeah, I'm going it for the sake of the discussion.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'll take it at face value for this. That's what
So
I'm saying.
that's almost a one-to-one combatment to civilian ratio, right? 1 to 1, 1.5 to 1 ish.
Okay.
You think that's a good number?
I think that that's the number. I what do you mean good number? Like I'll accept it for the
In
sake
an
of this
urban
discussion.
warfare, in a densely civilian warfare.
I think that it is a number that I'll take for this
You
discussion.
think it's a good number or not? That's my question.
I think that because I think that when you look at what Israel has done and the pressure it's put on the people, it makes sense why those people would be as desperate.
You think
And
it's a good stop deflecting. Do you think it's a good number or not? Do you think it's a high number, a low number? What do you think?
I accept the number for the sake of this
That's
discussion.
not my
That's what I've
question. Do
said.
you think it's a low casualty numbers? It's a low ratio, or is it a
I'm
high
agnostic
ratio?
towards it. I'm
You're
agnostic towards it.
agnostic towards this. This is your point
Yeah.
right now because you don't know anything about
No,
this.
it's not my point.
Oh my
I am
god.
telling you my
Okay,
feelings
so
and opinion.
the actual ratio, like the average in urban warfare is 1 to 5 to 1 to 9. So on every one militant, between 5 to 9 civilians are dying.
Okay.
So do we agree that's a very low ratio
Um, according to you, I mean, it makes sense to be
according
a
to
low
the
ratio.
data? But sure. So can you
You
give
know,
me any genocide?
what I
Can
don't
yeah.
see
Hmm.
the thing is that I think that this is not agreed on by most people. I've
Not agreed.
anyway,
What?
not just in the court of popular opinion, but from the evidence that I've seen. And again,
Not
I don't
agreed.
have it
What? Not
memorized.
agreed. What do you know about the death ratio?
No, not that I what I mean is that Israel is engaging in ethnic cleansing.
What's ethnic cleansing? Because you're saying genocide, and
Yes.
genocide is one thing. Ethnic cleansing is a different thing.
I
It's actually
think that
almost the opposite.
really
Yeah, the ethnic
the
cleansing is
ethnic
to
cleansing
remove
is
them
the
from a
opposite,
land. It's almost the opposite. It's removing them
almost
from
the
the land.
opposite.
Genocide
Okay.
is to eradicate them, to kill them off. So yeah. Actually, do you think ethnic cleansing is illegal according to international laws?
Is it illegal
Nope.
according to international law?
No, you can
Okay.
do it's you can do it legally.
Okay.
Okay. So is
Wow.
it
All
ethnic
right.
cleansing, genocide? Was it? I don't understand.
I don't understand that you're defending ethnic cleansing. I think that you're defending ethnic
I'm
cleansing
not
is
defending
pretty.
ethnic cleansing. I don't think
Yeah,
there is
but
an ethnic cleansing.
you're what?
I don't think there is an ethnic cleansing.
Okay.
It's a war.
But I mean, you're going to defend the technical term of ethnical cleansing.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just wondering how much do you know about this because you're just claiming it. So let's go back to the genocide you're calling it. Can you give me like a genocide in history where the population actually increased in the last 3 years? Right, the population went up. Just so you'll know, not down.
Yeah,
That's one.
I've heard this before. I've heard this
No,
before.
it's actually according to their own statistic. It's not from our numbers.
Because what you do is I think honestly, to tell you the truth, and this is one of the reasons why I have not researched this as much as I can, because it is very disturbing. Because a lot of the Israeli arguments are identical to neo-Nazi arguments I've heard. Like that's actually another thing that they say that the
Oh, so
Jewish
you are supporting
population.
me. Okay, interesting.
What?
No, nothing.
What did
Go
you say?
ahead.
No, that you no, you are a neo-Nazi. Yeah, I agree with that.
That I'm being a Nazi?
Yes, you're being a
How?
Nazi. I said that well, because I said that the arguments that you've made are, like, remarkably similar to arguments I've heard from neo-Nazis.
Okay,
Again, like
so the
but
Nazis.
I'm
Wait,
again
wait. Did
I'm
they?
against the
I'm just
Holocaust.
wondering. I'm just
Right.
wondering. The Nazis
Sure.
gave aid to the Jews. They didn't. They did give them, like they
Yeah,
tried
that
to.
like I've heard like crazy claims that like the, Jewish population increased during the Holocaust, like crazy stuff like that. Like that
Mhm.
specific line I've
Do you
heard
think that's
before.
correct?
No, I don't think that's correct.
Oh, so why don't you believe the statistics of Hamas and the government in Gaza? I'm not claiming it. Israel is not claiming it. They are claiming that the population went up. I'm not saying this. I'm using their statistics. So how is this being a Nazi using their own statistics regarding saying that their population is going up? Yes. Please stand by your point. I'm not trying to understand why do you call me a Nazi when I'm using their own data and information in this conversation right now.
I think the what I what I'm trying to say is that you might have a um you're very interested in using rhetorical tactics to argue against this, but I think that like I have seen stuff from documentaries
Mm-hmm.
and people on the ground
Mm-hmm.
that paint a very different picture.
So I'm using facts, you're using emotions.
I think that that's not invalid, and I also think that um,
Have you seen videos from October 7th? I'm just wondering.
sure, I recognize that a lot of people were killed during October 7th. I don't think that
Raped,
that
also burned
yeah,
alive.
right. I agree. There were
Mm-hmm.
atrocities committed on October 7th. I wouldn't
Sure.
argue that, but I think that the difference is that the Israelis are the oppressors in this situation, and
Okay.
the Palestinians are
So
and I think
let's
that
talk.
if
Wait, wait. Let's talk about oppressors.
sure,
So first of all, there is no
okay,
genocide. We proved that because
no, we haven't
you
proved
didn't
that.
give me any
We
factual regarding this.
what you've done is you've like spewed a lot of
Facts.
information. No,
Yeah.
they're not.
Okay. Information.
I don't.
Sure.
Sure,
Information.
sure. Information, because
Hmm.
I'm not, maybe I'll come back one day and I'll say that it's verifiable. I don't think that's true. And I think that what I can only give you my side, right?
Mm.
My side is that I never intended to get into a debate with, an Israeli guy.
Okay. So let's talk
And
about. Okay. So
sure,
forget genocide because we will not agree
but
with
just
all the
because I don't
facts I'm
have the
going to
no,
give
and
you.
I just okay, what?
It doesn't matter. I'm going to give you so many regarding facts about the fake genocide you guys are claiming because we give them aid. We vaccinated over 1 million Palestinians for polio. We gave them evacuation notice. We called them before we bombed them. So I don't understand if we're trying to kill them off and to kill all of the people in Gaza. Why do we give them so much information of when we're going to attack, how we're going to attack? Why do we give them aid? Why do we give them refugee zones? This is
Okay,
mind-boggling. But
I have heard this before. I have heard this before, and
Mhm.
these are some things that I do like they trigger my spider sense as bullshit. And
Ah,
in addition, I have
what
heard
is a bullshit?
uh
Oh no, what is a bullshit
sure.
for anything I just said? One, say one.
I think that the what you describe as aid is not true.
Really?
And
So
I've
the
heard
UN and UNRWA is
yes.
lying?
What?
So you think the UN and UNRWA and are lying regarding the amount of aid coming
URA
into
isn't
UN
URA
and
like
UNRWA? Yeah, even
UNRWA.
UNRWA, the one who's
Yeah.
against doesn't really like Israel, and they participated on October 7th. Even they claimed that there was enough aid coming into Gaza. Are you aware that the UN actually made a report 2-3 weeks ago, finally agreeing with Israel after we claimed for many years that Hamas and PIJs, PFLP, all those organizations stole the majority of the aid from the Palestinians and resold them to them?
No, I've never heard that. Never
Look it
heard
up.
that.
UN report. The
Okay.
UN, who doesn't really like us. So enough aid did go into Gaza because if you say enough aid did not go into Gaza, you're saying they're starving, right?
From what I understand, that is true, yeah.
How many do you think died from starvation in Gaza in the last 3 years?
I don't have a number.
But you're saying there's nothing, like you cannot give an estimate?
No, and I'll tell you why. honestly, this is one of those things that, when like it causes extreme discomfort, so you like would rather not look into it or investigate it
Really? But you
because
said you saw
you're
a lot of videos. What's going on in Gaza?
well, true, but that doesn't mean that just because I've seen that and I, care about that doesn't mean that I don't like I feel shame when I see this. Like I feel shame because I know like family members, my like who are very pro-Israel,
Hmm.
and they so there's like a very strong social pressure even locally to like if you look at things, yeah.
So regarding starvation, there is a body called the IPC. They're deciding if their areas are starving or not. Actually, they claim that Gaza, some areas in Gaza, has, I think it's either 3 or 4. Gaza City had a 5, which is the most imminent famine. But they did categorize a bit of Gaza around areas, some areas as a category as a 3 and 4, and in those categories, with the amount of people that live in Gaza, that's around. So category 3, I think it's 0.5 deaths per day, and category 4 is I think 1 to 2 deaths per day, for every 10,000 population. So I did the calculation once. I already saw
I
some people
have
are doing the
to
calculations
I
then.
like I think this is like the thing is that you're saying a lot of stuff that
Oh,
I'm gonna have to look at for my own, and I'm not gonna be able
okay.
to
So
learn
look
from
at
it.
the
No, 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 I'm not
IPC.
finished. Just let me talk. Just let me
Okay,
talk.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Sure,
no.
sure, sure. Go ahead.
There's a lot of what you're saying is not going to. I'm not gonna learn from you right now. If I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna learn from you. I mean, learn from my own time,
Sure.
not from you. And also, in addition, yeah. So there's just that. So I don't know.
Okay, okay. So Hamas
Yeah.
claimed 400 died out of starvation in the last 3 years.
Okay. All right.
Doesn't make sense.
400 died.
Yes, it doesn't make sense of
All
the
right.
2.2 million population. Regarding the oppression, how do we oppress the Palestinians? If you don't know enough about what I just said, so let's talk about the oppression. What oppression?
Well, you're obviously going to argue that's not there.
I'm asking you which oppression. Why are you like not answering my question?
Because I feel like intimidated by you.
Come on, don't be that weak. Don't be a snowflake. I'm asking a question.
I don't
I'm
think
not
that's
even in
weak.
your room.
I
I'm
don't think
not even
that's
in the same continent as you. I'm just asking you. You said the Palestinians are
well, no.
oppressed.
What's kind of scary is that like I'm pretty sure you're doing this for like some kind of online bit, right? Like
I'm
this is
live
like
on
a
YouTube. Yes.
yeah, you're live. So like I feel like in that sense I already kind of feel both the pressure of like to stay, otherwise I look dumb, but also I feel the pressure of like if I stay, it also is going to show that you know um because you found somebody who is kind of like low information on this debate tag, and I like don't want to be somebody who delegitimizes good people who argue for real like humanitarian
You know what? I'll give
perspectives.
you. I'll give you an
And
out. You can tell me I don't know jack shit about this. I
but
said it
that's
was,
not
it
an
was I said it's an oppression. I don't know anything about this, and I'm saying it's only because it's a hype word. It's a buzzword. I'll
no,
give
no,
you
not
this
at
out.
all. I disagree with that. I'm not
Also,
saying
okay,
it's
so you're
just
saying
a
it's
hype word.
oppression means you
Well,
have data about this, mean you have information about this, and it's not only a buzzword by you. Tell me how there's an oppression.
what I'm trying to I can only give you my personal experience, and
No,
what my personal
okay, go ahead.
no, but you're asking me like why don't you know these things? Why don't you have like the stats? Why don't you have the information to roll off your tongue? And I'm saying it because like I live in an environment where that is socially discouraged for me to look into. And
Okay, but
so I might have a personal observation and I might want to learn more. But when your brother is like screaming at you that you're wrong and that even like that,
listen, I'm asking you a question. You said an oppression. You told me
yeah,
there is information and you have data about the oppression. It's not only a buzzword. Tell me how to oppress the Palestinians.
I don't have so I isn't it true that you guys were like openly taunting Palestinians about running water after October 7th?
Okay, so now you're talking about after October 7th because you said the oppression happened before October 7th. October 7th was a reaction. You want to talk about the water that we closed after
Yeah,
October 7th? Sure, but did we oppress them before October 7th? Yes or no?
yes.
How?
Denied their freedom of movement, gradually encroached upon their land. There was the
Wait, 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 wait,
settler
wait, wait.
issue.
One point after the other. How did we block? You're talking about movement. You're talking about Gaza, the West Bank. Which area are you talking about?
No, but this is a tactic you've employed a couple times where you're like, oh, what things, what things, what things. So I list one thing and I list
I
another
want
thing
to
and
talk point by
and then
point. You can list all
okay,
of them. You can
but
list all of
but
them
what you're doing though is you're trying to cut me off and you're confusing
because
me.
you're
So
shotgunning
like,
your points. You're shotgunning them. I want to talk. You want to
but
talk? Let's
you're
talk.
shotgunning stuff too.
What? What did I shotgun? I gave you facts. That's it. Statistics. That's what I gave you. I did not give you claims. I can give you claim by claim and you can refute them, no problem. I will not shotgun claims. But you gave me specific stuff. I want you to ask and refute each one of them. So you're saying freedom of movement, Gaza or the West Bank?
West Bank.
West Bank. How are we denying them freedom of movement?
Checkpoints.
Mm-hmm.
The continual what I have seen
Mm-hmm.
is like through documentaries and people on the ground who are just like regular tourists.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they witnessed like surprise police checks,
Mm-hmm.
brutalization of citizens.
The brutalization of citizens I didn't see, but regarding checkpoints, yes, there are checkpoints. You have a problem with checkpoints?
Yeah, I think that
Mm.
the using I know okay, I do.
So before we had the checkpoints in the first Intifada, you know what was the first Intifada?
Um,
You're Jewish, I'll tell you. In the 1980s, the first Intifada started, and they actually came from the West Bank, Judea and Samaria. Stop calling it the colonizer name. Let's call it the correct name, Judea and Samaria. They came into Israel and they shot, stabbed, suicide bomb in Israel. Same thing as the second Intifada, they came only in order to kill Jews, buddy. People like you, they came to kill as many Jews as they could. After the checkpoints were raised in Judea and Samaria, the drop of terror attacks fell between 85 to 90%. So yeah, they might feel a bit discomfort moving from area to area because of the checkpoints, but I think human life is more important than someone need to wait in a specific area because of their government and their way of living next to us. Don't you agree?
I understand why that makes sense to you.
It doesn't make sense to you?
No, because I don't think that the European Jews who went there were justified in their like project of creating Israel to begin with.
You're now like deflecting to the different point entirely.
Anyway, I'm done with this
Why you
conversation.
deflect? Why did you deflect?